Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Craig's Corner. Today we're going to talk about the hot concept, leaders' response matters. I'll use a little story to illustrate what I'm talking about here. There's a gentleman in my neighborhood that's about 10 years older than me, and his oldest is about 10 years older than my oldest. And so I find myself kind of following along and hitting milestones that he's already been through. So it's not uncommon for us to talk through like, hey, these are things that he faced and how those might affect me coming down the road. And a couple of weeks ago, we were at a graduation party for his daughter, and an event that happened about 4 years ago became the topic of conversation. So his daughter had gone over to a friend's house to spend the night, and that was not uncommon. This happened pretty regularly, but on this particular night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, he gets a phone call, and it's her number on the caller ID. A little bit of panic sets in, and he answers the phone, and she says, "Hey, Dad, like I messed up. We snuck out of the house, and we went to this party. People have been drinking. I'm scared. I can't get home. Can you come get me?" Of course, as a dad, that's what you do, right? You put your shoes on, you go get your kid, and you bring her home. And his natural inclination was, hey, like I want to blow up about this. I want to yell. I want to scream. I want to. How could you be so stupid, right? That's kind of a natural response. And as he's driving there, he cooled himself down, and he's like, no, I need to be calm about this. Like, she called me, that's the right thing. I want to, make sure that, that she knows that's the right thing. So he doesn't blow up, and the next morning they get up and they have breakfast and they talk about it. And the result is he's like, we have to do something about this, right? You made a poor choice. You're supposed to be getting your driver's license here in a couple weeks, and I think we are going to postpone that to the end of the summer. We need to make sure that you're ready for that freedom and that responsibility, and that we're not going to have this same thing happen again. Fast forward 4 years, and we're sitting around at this graduation party, and they're rehashing this, and she's like, "Dad, that was the worst thing. It was so embarrassing. Like I couldn't get a summer job. I had to ask for rides for my friends, and we'd had all these plans for things to do in the summer, and it was humiliating." And he's like, "Well, I didn't really have a choice. I had to teach you a lesson, and ultimately it worked, right? We never found ourselves in that position again. You never snuck out. You never called those things." And one of the friends was sitting there and laughed, and everybody's going like, what's the laugh about? And the friend says, "The only lesson you taught her was that you're not safe to call if she's in trouble." I think for leaders, we find ourselves oftentimes thinking that our intent is good, right? Like we're trying to do the right thing. We're trying to correct the behavior. We're trying to make sure that whatever that negative thing was doesn't happen again. And we forget about the impact of our response. So it's not always what you say, it's how you say it. It's not always how you say it, it's just how it's interpreted. What does it mean to that person that's receiving that feedback? That's a difficult place for leaders. That's a place where we often feel like we have to do something, and sometimes, a lot of times, the right thing to do there is nothing, right? We can just be a safe, soft landing for someone who's made a mistake. We deal with adults. We deal with skilled workforce, intelligent folks who know that they made a mistake. They don't always need us to be like, hey, you messed that up, and now there's repercussions for that. As leaders, we can really grow our teams. We can really learn a lot in our organization by just being a safe spot for our people when they make a mistake to come to us and say, hey, I messed this up. I'm taking accountability for it. And then our response is to say, yeah, let's figure this out together. Hey, glad you're here. We'll see you next time on Craig's Corner.